Hey, if you're just starting out as a freelance copywriter and you've got questions, then this is the video for you because I've got answers. My name is Tiffany Ross. This is Small Business Good, and I help freelancers and entrepreneurs learn how to do marketing good and do other stuff good too. Listen, I get it. Starting anything new is scary and there's a lot to know. I've been writing professionally since 2019, and while I haven't arrived yet, there's a lot of pitfalls that I've made I'd love to be able to keep you from. So I'm just going to jump right in with some of the most asked questions that I see from other copywriters who are just starting out. Probably one of the most frequently asked questions I see is kind of the obvious: how do I get clients? Now, there are a lot of ways that copywriters get clients. You can network like there's no tomorrow. You can talk to friends and family and tell them to spread the word that you're a new copywriter, that you're looking for work. And honestly, that's not a bad strategy. I've seen people get work that way, and a lot of work that way, if you're willing to do it. However, the thing with a lot of copywriters is generally we're introverts, which means that we're not necessarily born networkers, and it can feel a little bit out of our comfort zone to do that. While it's not a bad thing to push yourself out of your comfort zone, there are other ways that, to me, are a little bit more comfy. Second being cold email or cold outreach. Now, cold email gets kind of a bad rap because nobody necessarily likes to have strangers popping into their inbox asking them for work, but it can be done really well, and it can be done in a way that's not annoying. The best route to go for that is just to show the business owner or whoever you're reaching out to that you did your homework on them, that you really care about their business and you care about their mission and you understand it. And if you go to greater lengths to show that, they're not going to be usually annoyed that you're popping in. Whereas if you just send some stock email that doesn't even get their name right, they're going to be probably mad, and you'll probably head right to spam. So when I was knee deep in the cold email phase of my business, I had a spreadsheet. I would have the company owner's name or the marketing manager's name, the business website, and all of the little details that I wanted to know when I was writing that cold email. And then I would make sure that I would check them off so that I didn't email them twice. One follow-up is fine. I wouldn't do more than that. That's my personal style. It's up to you. You can also reach out through their Instagram, Facebook, any type of social media that they may have. You can DM them and make it seen. But even there, you want to make sure that you've done your homework and that you include at least one strength about their business or their brand that you really genuinely like. Just that little gesture can actually get your foot in the door. Okay, how about this one? What should beginner copywriters know about onboarding their clients, and what is the process? Obviously, this is a really big one to tackle. There's a lot of moving parts to this, but I'll try my best. Number one, at least for me, was to create a website. This is your first test as a copywriter and a great place to show your skills. You can use an easy drag and drop template. Don't get lost in the weeds. It's so easy to get lost in the weeds here, at least for me. I worked on my website way too long, and I never should have. So just get it written and get it out there. Then the next part, you want to have your portfolio at least semi-polished. If at all possible, you want to show that you've done some successful work for someone somewhere. So what if you haven't? Okay, well, there are a couple of options. You can trade work for people that you know, people with businesses who need copy. You can write their copy for free in exchange for a testimonial or just to get your feet wet. Something that I've also done is I told the person, hey, I don't really have anything to show you yet, but I can write something up for you if you tell me what you need. And I whipped it up and they loved it. So that's something that you can try too, is just tell them, hey, I will write it tailored to what you need. Doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. So if you're going the cold outreach route, this is where you're going to start collecting those names of all the businesses that fall within your niche that you would love to work for. You want a list of 50, 75 ideal clients. Honestly, this is a numbers game. You're probably not going to get answers from all of them. If you do, you're a unicorn and every other copywriter is going to hate you. But generally, you're going to get a pretty low percentage of people that write back. And that's okay. The more people that you reach out to, the better. In that outreach, you're going to want to be super clear on the way that you can help them and why they need your services. But don't go the jerk route where you tell them all the things that are wrong with their website and branding. You want to make sure that you add some things that you love about their brand first, and then sandwich in the things that you think they could maybe improve on. Hit on those pain points like not having enough time in the day or not knowing exactly what to write to get their clients to care. After that, when you reel in a fish, you're going to set a time to have a call with them, and then you're going to have the call. Once you discuss your services and they're interested, then following the call, you'll send over a proposal listing all those services again, why they're needed, and what the price is. And because it's generally better to have a retainer client or many retainer clients where they pay you monthly and you write with them continually, I like to offer a small discount when they choose to do retainer. Once that's agreed upon, you guys will have a signed contract. Usually you will be the one providing the contract. There are a lot of different places online that you can find them where they're already made up for you, and you don't really have to worry too much about that. After that, set a content schedule so they know what's coming and when. You'll want to have that all marked out on a calendar for you as much as for them. A good rule of thumb is asking for 50% upfront, but you can also ask for the entire thing upfront. I would not advise to write and give it to them and then get paid, because a lot of people have been burnt that way. I can think of several off the top of my head that have had clients just take the copy and run. So don't do that. Once you've got your 50% up front or your 100% or whatever you guys have agreed upon, then you start writing the copy. You send it out for edit. They send it back to you saying, you change this, change this. Usually put it in a Google Docs because that's a really easy way for everybody to collaborate. And there you go, rinse and repeat. Okay, how about this one? Should I niche down or go broad? A lot of times copywriters and freelancers in general are like, I can do everything. Anything that anybody wants to throw at me, I can handle it. So then does it make sense to niche down? Well, you've probably heard people say the riches are in the niches. And honestly, that is totally true. However, you don't need to do that at first. There's absolutely nothing wrong with getting a wide understanding of all the different types of copy that are out there and getting a feel for the ones that you like and the ones that you don't like and the ones that you want to do forever. Once you've written for several different niches and you've done a lot of different types of copy, then yes, it's a good idea to niche down with the information that you've gathered from doing all of that preliminary writing. For me, I discovered that I really don't love writing blogs. I hate SEO and I hate keywords. It's really not my strength, but I am really good at email copywriting, which needs no SEO. I wouldn't have known that though if I wouldn't have tried out several different types of copy at first. Okay, is calling people on the phone really 100% necessary for copywriting, or can I do it all through email? Well, yeah, you're probably gonna have to use the phone or Zoom or some type of in-person communication at some point. And for all my introvert people out there, you're probably maybe not thrilled about that, but it is a necessary part of the job, at least for onboarding. It's because you really need to get to know your client and their motivations, and they need to get to know you before you step into any kind of long-term relationship with them. Kind of like dating, it's better to have some type of human in-person contact. However, if you're getting clients through things like Upwork, you might not necessarily have to do that. It's a little bit different over there, and I haven't been there for a while, so don't quote me on that. Okay, here's another question. How do I prevent my clients from leaving or client churn? Now, obviously, the goal is not to have any client churn at all if they're good people to work with. That's another reason why it's really good to have a niche, because then you know who your ideal client is and you can stay within those parameters, and you're a lot more likely to like the client and they're more likely to like your work. So one of the best pieces of advice that I've heard on this is do kind of a try and see method. You can start out doing a small project or a small piece for them, and if they're a nightmare client, drop them fast. But if they're like, this is the bomb.com, I love you, and you feel the same about them, then hey, now you know. This one might be a little controversial. Do I need to be a native English speaker? The answer is a little dodgy. It's no, but you need to be able to write like a native speaker. speaker if you're going to be selling in that language. And this is because no matter what language you speak, you can usually spot somebody who's not fluent in that language, whether they're writing or speaking. They may not understand the nuances or use phrases correctly or punctuation, grammar, all those kinds of things. Those become very noticeable to a native speaker of whatever language it is. However, that does not mean that a person learning English as a second language cannot become a super successful copywriter. I'm actually reading a book right now by a man named Evaldo Albuquerque, who is this amazing copywriter, and English is not his first language. He's from South America. So if you're not a native English speaker and you want to do copywriting for English, the best thing that you can do is either to really learn all the little quirks of English or get a really, really good editor. Either way though, you're going to really want to brush up on all of your copywriting skills. That goes for literally every copywriter, not just those of a second language. Like I said, you can edit out the small quirks, but you can't edit in emotional techniques and the inner workings of great copywriting. Okay, here's a biggie. How can I confidently talk to clients? You might not like my answer. You're probably never going to feel ready. It's like doing a cliff dive. You just jump. If you're one of those people though that struggles with anxiety before a call, like me, one of the best things that I've found to do is just to visualize. I take some quiet time and I just imagine myself crushing it. Another good thing to remember is this is not a job interview. You're both business owners, you're both professionals, and you're just offering them a way to help them grow as a business. Really the best thing you can do though is to keep them talking about their own brand. Business owners love to talk about their business, so ask them a lot of questions. This is great because it doubles as research for you. And when you go to write for them, you'll have that much more knowledge of the brand. You want to have a really strong list of questions to pull from while you're talking to them so that you're continually learning about them. Here's another one. How many DMs should I send in a day to get my first ever client call? Obviously, this is going to be a different answer for everybody, but it's such a good question. Here's my answer. 5 if you can. 10 if you can, 15, 20 if you can, 50 if you can, but you need to make them, like I said before, personal. So if you're sending out 50 cold emails that all sound the exact same, like a computer wrote it, you're gonna probably have really low rates of success. So if you can send 10 in that same time that are really tailored to that brand, you'll probably do a lot better. Quantity over quality, it's quality and quantity. Here's the kicker though, try not to spend more than 10 or 15 minutes on each email. You can have a really strong template and then plug in the places that are different for each one. Okay, so here's my last question of the day, and it's how do you practice writing copy, the ad copy and the social media posts and all of that? Is there a way to practice it? Honestly, the best thing that you can do if you're just starting out, read books. Read books on good copywriting. The one that I mentioned earlier is a great one, the 16-word sales letter. Look at copy all around you. It is literally all around you. It's on billboards. It's on every website that you hit. You will find so much inspiration around you. Take a look at the social media posts that you're scrolling past, the Facebook ads, see how they're written. Keep paying attention and add the great ones to your swipe file so that you can look at them later and draw inspiration. You can read blogs about it. You can do Google searches about it. You can watch YouTube videos about it. There's courses. I did 30 days of handwriting old successful pieces of copy and it sucked and I didn't like it at all. And so I'm not saying that you have to do that, but it did teach me some of those old copy principles that are still great today because it all deals with human psychology. Okay, you wonderful budding freelance copywriters, I hope that was a little bit helpful. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. By the way, it's always super helpful if you give this video a like, a comment, a thumbs up, or subscribe. Either way, remember that I believe in you, you are amazing, and you're going to do great. Have a great day.